session some examples of that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator King. Senator Ernst, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks, gentlemen, for being here today and for your continued service to our nation and for testifying in front of our committee today. I think the discussion has been very helpful. All of you are playing a pivotal role in defending our country and deterring threats abroad and threats to the homeland. They are certainly paramount. So I want to take just a brief moment and recognize the loss of a true American hero that is special to many people within Special Operations Command. Earlier this week, we saw the passing of Colonel retired Ralph Puckett, known as the Ranger. And he was an incredible human being and the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from the Korean War era. So I want to give my sympathies. I know this committee will extend them as well to Joni and the rest of his family. So thank you for that moment. And General Fenton, I am going to start with you. In the current geopolitical landscape, our soft capabilities are absolutely indispensable in countering emerging threats and advancing our national security interests. Now, it's my understanding, and it's something that I have discussed with the Secretary as well, that cuts to these forces risk compromising our ability to effectively confront adversaries and their actions and maintain stability in key regions. So, General Fenton, can you please speak to the critical role that these forces play in the era of global power competition and how these forces make decisive impacts in strategic engagements?
Senator, I absolutely can. And first, thank you for the call out to our hero, Colonel Puckett, and the family. Thank you for that. And we'll pass that along to the entire SOCOM team. Thank you. I would start with, similar to the incredible conversation we had in your office yesterday, and I appreciate your time with us and our Rangers from the Ranger Regiment, laying out how they certainly see the world in integrated deterrence. I think it's a far cry from where folks may believe we only do counterterrorism, but they're intertwined. Being in a location downrange, even if it is in a counterterrorism capacity or even for crisis response, also very often has great power competition or integrated strategic kind of knock-on effects that the world is watching, in particular the adversaries, and they know we have the most incredible military, the most incredible special operations in the world. I think specific to integrated deterrence, and I'd be happy to cover just some more details in the closed session, it is about placement and access, partnerships and allies, developing their capabilities, and then bringing that back as options and advantages to the Secretary of Defense combatant commands, and as disadvantages and dilemmas to any adversaries that opposes.
And that is a perfect segue into Section 1202. So we saw the section extended in the FY20 NDAA, and it will remain in effect until 2025. This has allowed the department to work with our partners and allies in the irregular warfare space to achieve our U.S. objectives. Can you briefly describe for the committee how Section 1202 has strengthened our partnerships?
Senator, I can, and first I do want to thank this committee for instantiating that in law, and we appreciate that very, very much. It is yet another option to partner, and for SOCOM in particular, and for the Department of Defense, partnerships are the pacing item. And that's a very different proposition when we think about what the PRC and Russia do. They have clients and customers, they're parasitic. We like to build partners and allies, friends and family, if I might. And I think this absolutely helps in that arena, along with what this Congress has authorized for counterterrorism and 127 ECHOs, that authorization, what we do with 333 to build security cooperation capability, all of it adds to a really key piece for us, Senator. That's about the power of partnerships.
And General Fenton, do you believe more opportunities and support for provisions like Section 1202 will provide us an advantage in an era of great power competition?
Yes, Senator, I absolutely do, and I appreciate that folks are thinking that way, along with the flexibility we can build into them, and that already certainly exists. SOCOM's got a key part in bringing that type of information to this Congress through the department, but we're very grateful for all of them. And at some point, I think the more of them, the better, because the more partners, the better when we get down to it.
Absolutely. Agree wholeheartedly. And thank you, gentlemen, very much for being in front of us today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Ernst. Senator Peters, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Hawk, as you know, our federal executive agencies and military